Hey, welcome back if you're a returning visitor. I'm Debbie and I talk about gadolinium deposition disease, gadolinium based contrast agents, gadolinium toxicity. And if you don't know, gadolinium is a toxic rare earth metal. It's wrapped in a ligand intended to keep it safe, and it's used in imaging. It creates some beautiful images, but it has some problems. Anyway, that's not what I want to talk about today. What I want to talk about today is SEO and algorithms and how some of these social media forums are working to help us get information out there about a topic that you may have near and dear to your heart, like I have my own, or other topics, right? I mean, social media has been so good about getting knowledge out there in the world. But I want to talk about SEOs and algorithms just for a few minutes. There's probably a lot of people who don't know and maybe don't even have any interest in this topic, but I am blessed. I was on the very first corporate wide tool that was released for social media. I learned a lot. So I just wanted to share some of my personal thoughts. These are my thoughts, my understanding, and I know the tools have changed and grown so much since the early 90s when the first social media tools were introduced. But I want to talk about this because I think it's an important topic. Recently, you may know if you follow me, and if not, I published a page on social media that was taken down. It got 252,000 views in 90 days, and those posts were shared. And so every time you share, it reaches a larger audience and it just compounds, right? More viewers, and the knowledge gets shared and the information gets shared. And the page was taken down, but it wasn't taken down for misinformation or disinformation. I followed up with Meta and the Facebook teams, and they assured me that, I hadn't done anything wrong there, but that I was just my audience and my topic was reaching a lot of people, and they wanted to pause it for a little bit. So anyway, that'll all get worked out. But let's go back to SEOs and algorithms, because I think the important message and the important learning here is that we'll never beat those. If you're out there and you're trying to make a living and you're trying to make money and you're trying to build your tool set and your audience, don't get discouraged. Know that there are things that go on in the backgrounds, in the engines of those tools, that either help promote you or move you to the bottom of the list and not allow your important messages or the messages that you're putting out there to reach the world. And that's just the SEOs and the algorithms behind the engines that are making this happen. I loved what I learned. I actually had to be a coder and play with the tools and everything before we released them. And then I was part of engaging with the businesses and the corporations that we released the first social media tool to. And so I learned a lot in those years. And it wasn't until recently that someone reminded me of that when we were talking about this topic. So the thing you need to know is there's no way to beat the SEOs and algorithms. It's a platform, it's by design, it's with intent, it's how we how different organizations can control the dialogue, herd the masses as to what they want us to hear about, learn about, the information we see on these tools, these social media tools. And so if you're an entrepreneur and you're making your living and you're discouraged, don't be. I mean, there are tools that you can buy that they sell, software tools that you can load, and that's supposed to help you raise your reach and raise your views and get more likes and all of that. Some of those are probably pretty incredible and do work, but it's going to depend on the topic that you're talking about, and it's going to depend on your competition and all kinds of things that go into those algorithms and those SEO I was going to say tools, but I would say they're tools for sure, but it's a methodology, right? And it's programming, it's coding, it's all those things that are hard coded into the software, into the engines that are showing us what's out there. And so I just want people to understand that a lot of times you can't find things because paid advertisers get the top billing, right? So when you go to Google and some of these search engines, and it's not just Google, it's all the search engines, DuckDuckGo, whatever. There's so many these days. But when you go to that, of course, the sponsored people always get the top views and they pop to the top because they're investing. They have PR, they have marketing teams, they have funding, they have budget line items to put towards that, to building their businesses, versus small people like myself who's talking about medical injury, or I have friends who sell supplements, and they're out there and they're doing great work, but their audiences aren't being reached, or they're not able to build their businesses as much as they'd like to. And I just want to let people know, don't get discouraged. Just know it's part of the tools that are out there, and we'll never ever beat SEO or the algorithms if our topic isn't one of interest or isn't one of mainstream that people want us to be talking about. So anyway, I just wanted to share that. I've learned a lot. Everything I've learned in life takes me to the next step of what I'm about to do in life. And I just love how the stepping stones, nothing that we experience in life goes unused for the glory of God. And I know that doesn't set well with some people, but I really truly believe that. He uses everything for goodness, and this whole thing that I'm experiencing, and people that I meet on a daily basis are experiencing, it's just incredible. And social media is a great tool, but it does have its drawbacks. It is a business. Irregardless of what you think, you have this free Facebook account and everything, but there are people behind that. There are engines, there are coders, there are technologists, there are marketing teams that are looking at all that data, and they're shifting the dialogue. They're shifting the dialogue for us. And so I wish you well. I hope that you reach your audience, and if you're making money on this and you're not reaching some of your goals, that can be why, is the SEO algorithms and algorithms on the tools can be preventing you. So you might look at ways to improve that. I'm not a big fan of some of the tools that are out there for sale. I recently had some friends reach out and ask me to go in on a tool that is thousands of dollars, but it would increase our reach about the topic that we speak of. And I declined to participate, and wish them well. And I'll be monitoring it to see if they do get improved results. But just know that it is a business model. It is real. And don't get discouraged. There's lots of ways to make money if that's your goal. There's lots of ways to get information out there. Just be creative. Word of mouth, grassroots efforts are everywhere in our world right now, and there's a lot to be talked about, and a lot of knowledge to be shared, and a lot of misinformation and disinformation. My page wasn't taken down for either of those, but it was taken down because it's a topic that people aren't really wanting to be discussed at this point. So anyway, we learn as we go. Have a great day. I wish you well. May your journey be one of wellness always. And I'll be back to talk about gadolinium. I want to talk about autoimmune stuff in my next video. So take care.